as a beautiful lady that we all are, as girls, as lady, we face a lot of things and we just ignore, which is very, very bad. As a lady, our body is more complicated. I will say in quotes, our body is more complicated because we have a lot of things going through our body. So there are some signs and symptoms that you should not ignore. You understand? Good day everyone, and welcome back to Nurse's Lecture Room YouTube channel. My name is Messi Mary, popularly known as the nurse with the difference, and I make learning easy and accessible for all my viewers and students, both online and offline. Today, I'm going to be sharing with us 7 period signs that you should not ignore as a lady. 7 period signs that you should not ignore as a lady. If you are new on our YouTube channel, please click on the subscribe button, turn on the notification button so you don't miss out. For all my returning subscribers, I am saying thank you. The drums rolling. Alright, welcome back. Like I earlier said, today I'm going to be sharing with us 7 period signs that you should not ignore. Yes. The first one I have to share with you is your flow goes from being normal to heavy. We all know our normal flow, right? There's some people, their flow lasts for 5 days, some just 3 days, some 4 days. You know your normal flow daily, how it looks like. All of a sudden, you that was having 3 days flow, you started seeing 5 days heavy flow. You started seeing 6 days heavy flow. Your flow becomes very, very heavy all of a sudden. You that normally use 2 pads a day, you start using 5 pads. You start using 3 pads a day. You start using 4 pads a day. You that normally use like 4 pads a day because you like changing very well, you start using 5 pads a day. So these things, your period change from being normal to heavy, it's a sign that you should not ignore. It might be a sign of cervical cancer. It might be a sign of a tumor. I am not saying it is, but it is a sign as a lady you should not ignore. If your period goes from being normal to becoming very, very heavy. So take note of that and see your doctor. Then another sign you should not ignore is bleeding after sex. Yes, it is known as post-coital bleeding, like post-coital bleeding medically. Some people immediately after they have sex, they start seeing blood. Yes, it's also a sign that you should not ignore. It can also be a sign that you're having a tumor. I'm not saying it is. It might be a sign there's a tumor. It can be a sign there's an inflammation of the cervix. So that is why when you notice all this sign, quickly see your doctor, because these are your reproductive system. If something is wrong with your reproductive system as a woman, giving birth might be difficult. So when you notice anything abnormal, please and please try and see a doctor. Post-coital says, I've said it, and also flow becoming heavier than normal. Then the third one I would like to share with you, bleeding in between period. It is called inter-period bleeding. Yeah. So bleeding in between period. For example, you used to see you have 28 days cycle. All of a sudden, you started seeing your menses every 2 weeks. That's a problem. Or you have 28 days cycle. You see your menses today. Then after like 14 days, let's say 14 days, you see some droppings, not really menses, so you see some droppings that looks like blood, that's not heavy. It will stop. Then later you see your menses again and you're like confused. Oh, what's the cause of all this? This is also a sign, as a beautiful lady you are that likes your reproductive health, you should not ignore. You should consult your doctor as soon as possible for advice on what next to do. Then another I have to share with you is bleeding after menopause. I don't want to miss the point. That's why I had to write it down. Bleeding after menopause. You know you are in your menopausal stage as a woman. You know you no longer see your menses. All of a sudden you started seeing bleeding. That's the problem. You have to see a doctor. So it's not just something you keep quiet. Oh, you're not like, oh, there's this and this is just happening. Please, I'm begging you, try and confirm from a doctor before you jump into conclusion. So if after your menopause all of a sudden you notice some bleeding, try and see your doctor. Don't just, these are signs you should not ignore. Then the other sign I have to share with you is period stopped all of a sudden. Yeah, as a young girl I am now, just assume I'm as a young girl. Immediately my period stopped. The next thing that will come to my mind is, Miss Messi, are you pregnant? You understand? A young girl that's having involving in sexual intercourse, or a woman that I'm a woman that's involving in sexual intercourse. When their period stop, the next thing that comes to their mind is, okay, are you pregnant? You get. So when you do your pregnancy test, there are other confirmation that you are not pregnant, and all of a sudden your menses stopped. 1 month, 2 months, you've not seen your menses. Please, you don't even have to wait till 2 or 3 months. If you have to see your doctor, so you know what is wrong, so that it can be treated as soon as possible, because they say prevention is better than cure. The number 6 sign that you should not ignore. For example, your menses is usually regular. You see it every 28 days, every 29 days. All of a sudden, you are not seeing it every 30 days, 31 days, every 32 days. It's becoming irregular. Or for example, you naturally, oh, I have irregular menses, but now it's now worse. The distance between your menstrual cycle is now very, very long. You get, your cycle is moving from being regular to irregular, or from being irregular to more irregular. It's a sign you should not also ignore, and you should consult your doctor. It could be a sign of polycystic ovarian syndrome. That's one thing you should take note of. Then also another period sign you should not ignore: if you are having cramp, severe cramp. I'm not saying small cramp, because as a lady, even myself, I experience menstrual cramp. But if your menstrual cramp is becoming severe, like it's now very severe, you used to experience light cramp, so sometimes heavy light cramp, but all of a sudden you're now experiencing severe cramp, heavy pain during your menstrual period, this is a sign you should not ignore, and this is also a sign you should consult your doctor. It might be a sign that something is wrong. So meet your doctor so you can confirm all this properly. Don't forget the 7 signs you should not ignore. 1, having to bleed after sex. 2, flow goes from being normal to abnormal, or becoming heavier. 3, bleeding in between period. 4, bleeding after menopause. 5, period stopped all of a sudden. 6, irregular menses. And the last one, which is number 7, severe cramp during your menses. I hope this video helped you as a lady to understand the signs that you should not ignore. Yeah. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Thank you very much for watching my video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share with a friend if you got value. For all my returning subscribers, this is me saying thank you. If you are a nursing student and you have not registered for our classes on Telegram, sincerely, you are missing a lot, because we have thousands of students in this platform. They are learning daily from us. We have voice notes that help them prepare for the nursing and midwifery council exams, and we are proud to say that we have 99.9 success story. Yes, we have 99.9 success story. All you have to do is to send a message to the WhatsApp number. Send a WhatsApp message only, because you cannot reach me on calls. Send a message to the WhatsApp number showing on your screen. Thank you very much, and do have a wonderful day ahead.